All right. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dow. How you are viewed today will be totally different 10 or 15 years down the road. Usually, if you stand for anything, I don't care what it is, at first, the opposition is so great against you, and the ostracization, I don't care if you're speaking on different means, social, political, economic perspectives, or religious. Anytime you come out with a perspective or a point of view that is different than what people normally believe, because people don't want their apple cart turned upside down or upset, the first thing they do is they begin to attack you from the position that they believe they already know to be truth. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because I remember when I first started this journey right here as an Israelite. And I started making moves that was totally contrary to mainstream of what you'll call Christianity or religion then. And the very first thing that comes out of people's mouths was a bunch of insults, a bunch of negative and derogatory statements. My character has been impugned. My name has been drugged through the mud, and it's still being drugged through the mud today, but by very few people. But I have noticed that as years have passed and people have at first chose to ignore, later on something happens that they actually start checking out what I say. And when they start checking out things that I say, if at first it does not, strike them right, and it won't. Usually if anyone representing the truth, standing for the truth, living for the truth, it's not going to strike you right the first time you hear it. Something happens in them. They go back and they do their own due diligence. They do their own independent research for the first time in their life, because at first, pow, they had a defibrillator put on their mind. And when that defibrillator was put on their mind, it did strike something. It took a little while for the shock waves to get through, but they eventually got through. They picked up the Bible, they picked up whatever source that I'm touting, and they read it for themselves, and that started them on the journey to truth. They have literally woke up out of the matrix. I've told you, we all live in a system where we have all been trained. We have all been manipulated, and we have all been coerced to function in this world. When we fell out of our mother's womb, when we came out of mother's womb, this system was already in place. And we just assume that the things that have been said to us, be it by our own family member, our parents, our father and our mother, by our own environment, or our peers, or the social construct that is set up today, we just assume because it was given to us and we accepted it without any challenge, without any investigation, that it was true. Only come to find out later on that somebody else sounded very, very strange. And when we went and checked out what they said, all of a sudden, we start experiencing the same opposition that the ones who echoed from the top, from the very beginning. We start experiencing the ostracization. We start experiencing the discrimination. I can go on and on and on with the superlatives. Where here it is, 10, 15 years later, a lot of people have just simply changed their perspective and point of view about Pastor Dow. And they'll do that with you too, but you first have to have the courage and the strength to be able to stand alone when you know that you're right. And many people don't have that. And many people are not willing to suffer loss, even if it means everything, just in order to gain. The world, it's often amazing, because what people want you to do is they want you to capitulate. That's what they want you to do. They want you to not say anything, even though you know that the elephant is there in the room. Do not say anything at all. Don't stir the pot and stuff in order to keep peace. Because what they do is they accuse you of disturbing their peace because you present to them truth. Which, in their mind, what they're really truly saying without words being said, that things will be a whole lot better off if we all just go along and don't say nothing. Amazing. Isn't that utterly amazing? Let me give you an example. Yeah, I remember during the civil rights movement in the 60s when you had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali. The system, the order, or America at that time. Do y'all remember how much opposition was against them, how they literally had to stand and fight. And 2 of them got killed for that. Where here we are 20, 30 years later, America even calls them heroes because, see, at that time, the same systemic problems that we have today, they're just masked a total different way, but it's still the same thing going on. The powers that be have adjusted the way that they do things, but it's still the same things going on. So when you have somebody rising up and bringing attention to something that is a problem, at first they're viewed as villains, vigilantes, out of touch, dissenters, stoking the fires of racism. You know, they got all kind of names for them and stuff. How is Colin Kaepernick going to be viewed 10, 20 years from now? I think he's going to be viewed as a hero for being willing to stand up, because this is one guy, unlike Cam Newton. See, Cam Newton was protecting his brand when they asked him about it. He wasn't about to sell out. No. Because he's cashing in. Colin Kaepernick making millions of dollars and stuff. And but this issue just ought to be more important to me. That let you know that a lot of people have sold out for the love of money. I had the intestinal fortitude and still got the intestinal fortitude and not too much care about what people who still are in darkness in certain areas, still who are in ignorance in certain areas. I just keep on shouting, keep on pushing, keep on going, because I've done my due diligence. I've done my own independent research. I've investigated this thing before I present truth to you. And when I present it to you, you better believe it is the truth, and it's the truth straight way. It may be foreign to your ears, and at first you may scream, holler, reject. You won't believe how many women listen to me. Oh, man. And the first thing they do, they get offended. They get mad. They get upset, and they start accusing me of all type of things. I get accused of a lot of things. Later on, it may take a year or two. They go back and they research. They listen to what I said again. And then they started looking. They go, wait a minute. I heard what people said about this man, but this man is not what people have said. Some of them even come and visit me, male and females. Many of them even become part of Straightway worldwide, because they knew, they had intelligence. Man, something is going on wrong here. I hear all this noise and stuff, but man, let me listen to this man for myself. And they do. And from there, their spiritual life starts to prosper. So, I'm the type of person that I'm not concerned about how I'm going to be seen today. I really, truly am not. I'm really not concerned about how I'm going to be perceived or viewed today whatsoever at all. Because I know somewhere down the road, that a few people are going to understand, when they've heard the voice of a messenger of Yah, they're going to get it. I have the strength, the courage, the intestinal fortitude to stand alone and have stood alone, to go by myself and have at times went by myself before other people's get it. So I'm not concerned about public sentiments. I'm concerned for the truth. What about you? Do you have what it takes to be able to stand against wind and tide? Do you? Can you stand for the truth and forsake everything else, including your own family, that will attack you if you start marching to a different step and a different beat than what they believe? Do you have what it takes? That is the question.